It's Joy. I'm back again with another live. I hope that everybody is doing well and staying safe. So, you guys, this live is not going to be too long, but I just wanted to hop on here and just talk to you guys today about a few important topics. But before I do get into it, if this is your first time watching me, again, I'm Joy. I am a narcissist abuse coach. I help former victims and survivors heal, move on, and recover after dealing with narcissistic abuse. And just so you know, my experience, I've been dealing with narcissists since 2006, and since 2017, I have been helping people, overcome the abuse. With my videos, with my coaching, my support sessions, my self help books, 90-day coaching programs, readings, guidance, clarity, advice. So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Oh, and by the way, if you guys have not, make sure that you do inquire about my holiday self care package deal I have going on. It is available. You can get access to my books, Live Narc Free T-shirt, Joy Larkin Skincare T-shirt, White Sage Incense sticks, which helps with purifying your environment, your living household, living situation. Um, I also have some nice body oils to keep your body nice and smooth and soft and moisturized, and coffee tea mug for those of you that like to relax or get your energy from coffee, or if you need stress reliever with tea. So make sure that you guys do inquire about my self-care holiday package deal. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the narcissist and how, for some, you know, they may show up in our work environments. A lot of them could show up in our direct family, like mine did, like my direct blood family. I was not adopted or nothing like that. And then also, just kind of like surviving a toxic work environment, like that was something that I had to do. And also, kind of dealing with the aftermath of, if you have a toxic family dynamic or toxic family drama that's going on during the holiday season, kind of navigating that and, being able to cope with that and just healing yourself and, getting the support that you need and not being afraid to, reach out for help, which I always say in my videos. Don't be afraid. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you look bad. It makes you look like, hey, you wanna solve a problem. You are being honest with yourself. That to be completely transparent with you guys, I really think that that's really the first step on your recovery, is when you can be honest with yourself, when you're no longer lying, or not necessarily saying that you're lying to yourself, or maybe let's say for some of us, we might be in denial about a lot of stuff. Maybe we don't want to see things for what it really is. Maybe, if we tell ourselves a lie, maybe it might make us feel comfortable. Maybe it's a defensive mechanism. It's a way that we can protect ourselves. Maybe it's a ego thing. A lot of us, we have pride, right? We have ego, and there's no judgment, but it's just, something to look at, to assess, to recognize, right? Ooh, South Africa, welcome. Hey guys, welcome. So, see, we have a troll in the room, but it's all good. But yeah, welcome from South Africa. So yeah, and so just keep in mind that, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to, speak up for yourself, to speak out. If you've been, traumatized, or you've been manipulated, or you've been, taken advantage of in any situation, in any environment, just understand that, it's okay to stand up for yourself. It's okay to speak up, speak out, you know. And if anything, the person that has abused you, like your abuser, or the narcissist, they don't want you to say nothing, right? They don't want you to get support. They don't want you to get help. They want you to keep quiet, right? They want you to shut up. They don't want you to talk about them because they don't want to be exposed, right? They don't want people to find out who they really are, because when people find out who the narcissist is, the narcissist has no power, right? They have no control. They can't manipulate. But a lot of the times, the narcissist likes to smear their targets because, they don't want people to know the truth, But the good thing about, karma, the good thing about God, and the good thing about the universal law is that the truth always comes out. What do they say? The truth sets you free. So, you can set yourself free, you can allow God to set you free, or the situation itself will come to a halt, and it will allow you to get free of that. But some people feel like, they have to stay with their narcissist, they have to be stuck, they have to, maybe they have legalities, they have children with the narcissist, or maybe it's a job situation and they feel like, oh, I have to be at this job, but just remember, and I'm not telling anybody to quit their job, I'm not telling anybody to like leave their situation, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you do have choices, and you can make plans, you can, get things together so that way, you can get free of those type of toxic environments, or maybe let's say it's a toxic living situation. There's a will, there's a way, right? So you can always make that happen. So yeah. And then also, oh, you know what? I did want to talk about how sometimes the narcissist will troll you online. Maybe I'll kind of put that in here. We'll talk about the childhood traumas also, but sometimes you can have a narcissist online and they'll troll you. Like I said, a lot of narcissists are cowards anyway. So sometimes the narcissist won't come to you in person, right? Sometimes they'll come to you online, or maybe they'll try to come to you through other people. So if you have an online presence or you have a platform, then you can have, whether it's narcissist minions, the narcissist flying monkeys. Sometimes they'll do the dirty work for the narcissist. I know, like at the work environment that I was at, there was a female, and she had been talking really bad about me. I guess due to a situation with a friend and I, whatever. I guess she felt like, I don't know, she felt rejected or felt like someone didn't want them. I don't know, who cares? But so I guess this individual was so jealous, got so angry, so bitter, and was so miserable that she lied on me and, got a bunch of people to believe something that wasn't true. And I'm assuming that this individual got people to watch me too, but also watch me at work when I was at that work environment. She got people to watch me at the job. Like when I would take my breaks and my lunches, she would get people to follow me around in the break room, follow me around in the bathroom, and then also, try to wait for me outside of the job or whatever. And so sometimes narcissists, they'll do stuff like that because, they're so insecure, and, they're bitter, they're angry, they're frustrated, they don't know what else to do, that kind of thing. But they'll smear you to other people. And so you do have a lot of that going on as well. So yeah, and then so do be mindful of that. You have a lot of narcissists. They will really try to ruin your life if you allow the narcissist. They will try to kill your dreams. They'll try to kill your spirit. They'll try to break you down. And it's really up to you. You have to keep your power. You have to understand that you have the power. Only you can give your power to the narcissist. The narcissist can't take anything away from you. So, do be mindful of that. But yeah, as far as the online bullying, so the narcissist, they will recruit people to harass you, right? They will recruit people to stalk you. And so you do, so it's like, oh, so back to what I was saying at the job. So this person had recruited people to follow me around at work, to try to scare me, to try to intimidate me and stuff like that. They was trying to get me to either quit or they was trying to get me fired. And luckily this person was crazy, y'all. Like the individual, the culprit, the female, she ended up getting fired, which I thought was very funny. And I feel like that was what she deserved, because she ended up getting fired. And what's crazy? The reason why she got fired, someone said that it was because she lied to a customer. Like because I was working at a call center, and they listen to our calls, the managers and stuff, they listen to our calls, and they're checking to see if you're telling the customers the correct thing. Now that's an integrity violation. If you lie to a customer, that means you don't have any integrity, and that means you don't care at that point. So that means you deserve to get fired because you don't care. Then you get what I'm saying? So I found out that that individual, that narcissist, lied to a customer, and the big managers listened to the call, and so she ended up getting fired. So that was kind of like, um, what she got, what she deserved for messing with me. You get what I'm saying? And I never said anything to that female. I never did anything to that female. So she had did all of that out of jealousy. But what happens is the narcissist gets online, and then they'll begin to try to do things to you, like if you have a live or something, they might come in the chat and post like little silly stuff, and they'll have like fake accounts, and they want you to think that it's not them, and that it's them, that kind of thing. So do be careful of like cyberbullying. Also, like, some narcissists will try to call you from different private numbers, or they'll try to get your friends. Let's say if a narcissist is not mad at you, let's say the narcissist wants you, maybe it's like a romantic interest, maybe the narcissist is trying to use you for something, then they'll try to get like close mutual friends that maybe you guys know, and they'll try to get that person to say good things about the narcissist, and say, oh yeah, you should talk to that person, you should be friends with them, you should be with them. So they'll try to get a group of people to try to force that person to like be with them, or force that person to talk to them, or stuff like that. So the narcissist is very manipulative. So you do want to be very careful about that. But yeah. So yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, they will. They will suck you dry if you allow them. That's the key point. So you have to remember, if you've been around a narcissist, remember you have the power. You don't hand your power over to the narcissist, because they'll take it and they'll keep it. And they'll make you believe things that's not true, and they'll lie to you, they'll abuse you, they'll emotionally abuse you. Sometimes they'll physically abuse you, mentally, psychologically, spiritually. Some of the spiritual narcissists, they like to use magic. They like to, do love spells. They like to do moon magic. Some of them will do like death magic. Some of them will do like breakup spells, or stuff like that. So you got to be really careful, because these people are so vindictive. They're so relentless, they're so ruthless, to a point where they don't care who they hurt in the process. It's all about getting what they want, getting their needs met. And it's a very it's very selfish, and it's very cruel that you would think that a person would go to that would be that desperate and do something that dramatic to get someone to stop talking to somebody, or to break up a friendship, or to break up a relationship, or even break up a marriage. For some people, you could be dealing with a person and they have a bitter ex, or a bitter hoe, or a bitter person that they used to talk to, and they can't move on, or they can't let a situation go. You get what I'm saying? So like, that's not your fault. Like, you get what I'm saying? So everybody has their own life to live, and at the end of the day, if someone can't move on, then that's their problem. That's on them. So yeah, some of them, yeah, sometimes if you can get away from a narcissist, then you are lucky, because sometimes a lot of them, they try to trap you. They'll try to trap you with like having a baby, or getting you pregnant. For the male narcs, or the female narcissist, they'll lie and say, oh, I'm pregnant, or something like that. Or they'll try to get married to you, so they'll try to trap people through marriage, and stuff like that. Or they try to trap people through business partnerships, for some people that are do business with a narcissist and stuff like that. So you do want to be very, very careful. Yeah, and some of them will try to get you arrested. I know that the narcissist that I used to work with at the job, like, I know that she was doing all that stuff to try to like get me to like do something, to try to maybe even like hit her, or say something, or do, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, she was really trying it. She was trying, but it was never going to work on me, because I already knew from the beginning. I knew like who and what she was. So it was like, it didn't matter, like whatever she did, I already knew what I was dealing with. So I already had the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to take care and handle myself, so that way she would look like the person that she was. You get what I'm saying? So it was nothing that she could have did that was going to get me out of my character. Nothing. It didn't matter what she said, what she did. It didn't matter, because I already knew who she was. You see what I'm saying? So when you don't know who these people are, then that's when you can get yourself in trouble. So that's why I'm saying it's very important that you guys really take this stuff serious. This is not a joke. It's not a game. It's not a fad. It's not a trend. This is real life. This is real life stuff. And this stuff can really not only impact you, but it can impact your kids. It can impact your family members. It can impact your friends. It can impact your loved ones. And you just don't know. A lot of people think it's a joke. A lot of people think it's a game. A lot of people want to play around with the word. It's no joke. It's no joke. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very serious. I would say take this serious, you guys. Take it serious. Invest in yourself. Get the tools that you need. Get your resources. Get the knowledge you need. Learn about this stuff. Educate yourself. Educate your children. Educate your loved ones. Educate your friends. And stuff like that. Now, speaking of loved ones, now some people may have it to where, the holidays are coming up, and I want to do a specific video talking about holiday time with family, because for some, being around your family in the holidays is lovely. It's a wonderful celebration. It's happy times, it's laughs, it's smiles, it's joy, it's peace, it's it's fun, right? But others, it's horrific, it's depressing, it's sad, it's stressful, it's tiring, it's draining, it feels lonely, it feels isolated. So no matter which side of the spectrum that you're on, you do just want to protect yourself, right? Sometimes you have to have boundaries. You have to really look out for you and your mental health, and understand that, it doesn't matter if it's your family, if they're disrespecting you, if they don't love you fully, or they abandon you, or they reject you, or they don't respect your opinions or your beliefs, or they don't respect your individuality or your need for personal space, then you may have to set boundaries, or you may have to speak up for yourself. You may have to set limited contact, or maybe for some it might mean not going to that particular holiday get together. I know for me, like, I did have to set boundaries. Like I told you guys, my auntie that was a narcissist, I don't talk to her anymore. I do not talk to her anymore. And I'm okay with that. I'm pretty sure she's okay with it. She doesn't care. But, I had to set that boundary. For some of you, setting that boundary might mean moving away or moving out, or maybe taking care of yourself. I know, like with my auntie at that time, I think I was like 19. She was like taking care of me. She was paying my phone bill. I know I was going to school at the time. I was in college and stuff like that. And I remember when I expressed to her, a need to want to, move out, get a roommate, get my own place and stuff like that. She was not for it. She didn't want to hear it. She's like, no. She was like, you're going to have to pay your own rent. You're going to have to, pay your own phone bill, trying to put fear in me, trying to make me feel afraid, so that way she could keep me codependent on her, or she can control me. Again, you guys know a lot of narcissists are only about power, competition, and control. That's it. They don't care about you. They don't care about your life. They only care about how you can benefit, how you can serve their needs and their needs alone. They don't care about you, your happiness, what you need. They don't care. And, I had to learn the hard way. That there was no love with my aunt. And it was sad, and that was around the holiday time that I had that realization. Like I said, for some holidays, sometimes it's sad. It's like you remember, you grieve, and, you recover, you try your best to rebuild yourself back up and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she was losing control. And when I tell you guys, like, me and my auntie, we never really had fights or arguments. She would argue with her husband a lot, But as soon as I expressed, like, wanting to be independent and like go on and live my life as I should, as you should too, like you shouldn't want to be under your parents 24/7. If your parents want you to be underneath them 24/7, unless, they're getting older in age and they need you to take care of them, that's understandable. But even then, it's like your parents should be like, okay, like my child is growing up, they want to live their life as they should. But if you know that your parent is clinging to you and they're being overly controlling, overly possessive, overly, kind of intruding in on your life and your personal space, and and really not allowing you to live, then you want to be on the lookout that that person could be a narcissist. um they may be very, some of them could be overt about it, some of them are covert, some of them could try to manipulate you. Especially, like, I've heard of, they said, like, some of the narcissists that are parents, like the mother and the father. In my opinion, the female is the worst. So, like, let's say it's a narcissistic mother, like she may try to guilt her adult children and say, like, oh, I'm getting older now, oh, I took care of you all your life, now you got to take care of me, oh, I did all this for you, and what have you done for me, and stuff like that. Like, and another telltale sign if a parent is a narcissist is if they specifically point out what they've done for you. It's not like they're doing stuff out of the kindness of their heart. They're doing it because it makes them look good, right? So some parents that are narcissists, they will do stuff like that. They'll throw it back in your face, like, hey, I did this for you, hey, I did that for you, instead of doing stuff because they really wanted to do it. They do it because it makes them look good. You get me? So, like, that's really, it's sad that people will behave that way, but that's the world we're living in right now, unfortunately. So, we have to be able to recover from this stuff. And I read a meme and it was saying, like people go through stuff, you guys. You don't even know, like, all the stuff that I've been through. Like, I've been through some stuff. I just don't talk about it because I don't want to make these videos hour, 2 hours, 3 hours long. That would be too much, right? So that's why I break them up in different segments. But if I were to tell you guys all the stuff that I've been through, you'd be like, what? You really went through that? Yes. You guys don't even know half of the stuff that I've been through. I only share with you guys the things that, specifically about narcissistic abuse, because yes, I was a victim of that. Absolutely. So I share it because I know that there's other people out there that deal with it as well and may be afraid to say something, or they may be ashamed, or they might feel embarrassed. So yeah. Oh, I understand. Yeah, they will blackmail too. Yeah, I do want to do a video on that. They will blackmail you. They'll try to guilt trip you, try to make you feel bad, especially the parents. The narcissistic parents, boy, they are the worst. And I say that because they really set you up to be either a victim of a narcissist, a doormat to a narcissist, a pushover, things like that. A people pleaser. Some people, if they grow up in those type of households, they become a people pleaser. They want to say yes to everybody. They want everybody to be happy, but in the end, they neglect themselves, or they allow themselves to be manipulated or mistreated or abused and stuff like that, or to be taken advantage of. But yeah, the narcissist will blackmail you if they feel like, they're not getting their way, they're not getting what they want, you're not, submitting to their needs, or let's say you're calling them out. Let's say the narcissist targeted you and you calling them out on their stuff. They may try to blackmail you, or they may try to do something real crazy. It's just like, who cares? Karma will get them, God will get them. You don't have to do nothing. You don't got to do nothing. So that's the biggest thing you guys want to be mindful of. But yeah, toxic work environments, to survive it, like I said, make sure that you guys get my book. You can still pre-order it. You can visit my website to learn more about that. You guys can send me an email. But Yes, be careful of being in a toxic work environment. And honestly, I would say the best way that I have learned to survive was first understanding what I was dealing with. I had to realize, okay, this job is toxic, and I also had to understand that the person that was targeting me at the job was a narcissist. So once I knew that, I was like, oh, okay. And then you can kind of go from there. So the way that I protected myself, I did tell the managers, but the managers, they didn't care about me. They only cared about me performing. So, I had to be mindful of that. So I had to keep my ears and eyes open. And you guys know what was crazy too? Like, it was also to a point where I was so like on guard that I had to like really take time to breathe, because this narcissist was heavy set. This was a big narcissist. This person was tall and kind of like fat, basically, like real big person, So like, and I'm tall too. I'm tall, but I'm a little on the slimmer side, So I had to be mindful, like, hey, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, just in case, like, but that person was a coward. That person wasn't going to touch me, So, and that's why she had to get all those other people involved, because she was such a coward, right? And so, so you do have a lot of that going on. And I don't think she expected me to, like, you know, I guess maybe she probably thought I wasn't going to say nothing about it. Maybe she thought I was going to be quiet on it. And it's like, no, you don't do stuff like that, And like, you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know whose child that you're trying to, come against or trying to target. It's like, what if that was her child that somebody was doing that to? They don't think like that. You get what I'm saying? What if that was their family member and they was being harassed by a narcissist at their job? So a lot of people go to their jobs, they want to make a living. They're not there to like make friends and, do all that other like toxic stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like, so yeah. But the narcissists, they only think about themselves. They don't put themselves in other people's shoes. They don't have empathy, right? They don't have sympathy. They only think about themselves. So yeah. But yeah, they will blackmail you too. They'll blackmail you. So a lot of them, they try to do stuff because, again, they don't want to be exposed. When you expose the narcissist, that makes them so angry. It makes them so frustrated, right? When you reveal the truth is like, the narcissists don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear you speaking on them, right? But guess what? That's what this channel is all about. We're going to speak the truth on this channel, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to keep exposing these narcissists. We're going to keep exposing these toxic individuals, right? That's what we're going to do. So share with us, is that Riger? Tell us how did a narcissist blackmail you, if you don't mind me asking. But yeah, they'll do the online thing too. So sometimes they'll send you emails. They may try to blackmail you through an email, or maybe they might blackmail you through a friend or a family member, or they'll blackmail you through the phone and stuff like that. So yeah, do be careful. Do be very, very careful. And like I said, this is never to scare anybody. This is just to give you the information. Like I said, I was never taught about this stuff. Like, if I would have known, if I would have known about this stuff, like, I mean, who knows? Everything happens for a reason. And no, I have not. I don't. Who is Dr. Brian? But yeah. But yeah, it would have probably, I don't know if it would have been different or not. I don't know. I just wish, even in school, I wish they could educate us about like mental health stuff, like, narcissism, and understanding like NPD, understanding like sociopaths, psychopaths, things like that. People that don't have a conscience, people that are like crazy in the head, delusional. Because these individuals will mix and mingle and pretend like they're normal, and they're not. They are not normal at all, right? You said, oh, she told the police that, oh, wow. Yeah, they'll lie on you. They'll lie to the police. They'll lie to judges. They'll lie to lawyers. They'll lie. They do not care, y'all. These individuals do not care. They will lie. They will lie, y'all. And to me, a liar is dangerous. I mean, we all have lied. Let's be honest. No one's perfect, but you got to be careful with a liar because a lot of liars are thieves. They're murderers, right? And they can really destroy, just not only destroy themselves, but they can destroy you with a lie. So yeah. So be careful with that. And if you find yourself lying, just try to just stop lying. Just realize, like, when you lie, it only destroys you. Really, it doesn't destroy the person that you're lying on. You know what I'm saying? You're only destroying yourself when you lie. So just make it a habit of not lying. Be honest. Tell the truth. Stop. What are you lying for? You know, you're not gonna get the result you think you're gonna get if you're lying. That's not me. That's a universal thing. That has nothing to do with me. This is just science. Like, you know. Okay, so okay, yeah, no, I never heard of her before. Or maybe I have. Maybe I have. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes if you like for instance, like the individual that I work with, I know that she was trying to get me. She was trying, like, every day, y'all. Like I said, I talk about this in my book, so make sure you get my book and you can read it to its entirety. But every single day she would do the same stuff. Like, she would either be waiting for me by my locker, or she would like try to follow me in the break room, or I think it was like at the time, so it was her, and then it was a gay girl too, and then it was like a dude. So initially it was like her and another person, and then I guess the gay girl left, and then the girl was still there, the one that started it, and then she had another, I guess it was a even bigger girl. She was like real tall and real big and fat too, and so it was that, and so yeah. And then she was like talking to a bunch of people about it too. I'm pretty sure, like, spreading gossip and spreading rumors. So yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot that I had to deal with. And she would do it every day, like the same stuff, like, because I don't know if she tried to like intimidate or bully somebody else like before, and maybe I guess it worked with someone else, but I'm just like, I don't know. That doesn't work with me, but I don't know what to say. But yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, so you said you are a CPRS, and I think I'm counting a narcissist. Okay, but I don't know. What are some... Yeah, I mean, I know, like, me too. There was a person that reached out to me, and they were like, "Oh, they think that they're a narcissist." And honestly, I mean, we did kind of like evaluate it, even though I'm not like, a therapist or anything like that. I'm just a coach. Like, I help people that have been victimized and abused by narcissists. I help those people, right? But I don't help narcissists themselves. But how I would, what I have seen, my opinion, as far as a narcissist, is someone that has no empathy, no sympathy. They lack accountability for their actions. They're very self-centered, very self-absorbed, and yeah, they belittle people, they demean people, they degrade people, and bully people and stuff like that. So that's really how I'm able to determine. And it's not just a person does it like once in a while, like, oh, every once in a blue moon. That could be a person that has the tendencies, but a person that is a full-blown narcissist, this is like their personality. This is an everyday thing, and they need like constant attention. They like excessive attention, like constantly. Now it's crazy too, because some people that have never heard of this topic or anything like that, they may take this information and they begin to behave that way. So be careful that you're not doing that too, because I mean, I don't know. I've seen some people kind of do that where they're like, try to take the information and they become like a narcissist. It's like, you know, we're trying to stop people from being narcissists. We don't need people becoming narcissists. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just make sure, you know, you take the information and you kind of, you know, you do well with it. Like, you know, like I said, if you're protecting yourself or you're trying to protect your kids or your children or your loved ones. So please be mindful of that. Right. Yeah, it's a hit or miss. Be right. So it just depends. But yeah. But anyway, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I hope that this video was helpful. Make sure that you guys do give this video a like, share, and subscribe. And I really love the topics that you guys mentioned. So make sure that you guys follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And if you guys have not, make sure that you also do join my free Facebook support group called The Healing and the Recovery Room. And you guys do inquire about my self-care holiday package deal that I am doing for this month. It is limited time only, is available. So make sure that you do inquire. And as usual, if you guys want to reach out to me for any support in any way, make sure that you guys do visit my website and find out how I can support you further. And as usual, if you guys like these videos, they're helpful in any way, they resonate, you find them to be valuable, you guys are welcome to leave a donation. You guys can do so at PayPal, which will be at livenarcfree9@gmail.com, or you can do so via Cashapp, which will be $CoachJoy510 510. So anyway, I love you guys. Hope this was helpful. Thank you, Riger. I hope I said that right. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.